What's up YouTube? Welcome to the Digital Gate. I know I said I wouldn't be doing a profile like this, but, well, for a while anyway, but it's a new set. So you know we're going to be playing an updated version of Ryugumon. So looking at the current set, there's a few Digimon coming out now, and it seems to be maybe more coming out in the future. Digimon that are unaffected by Digimon effects. So I wanted to try and kind of build a control list for Ryugumon, and there's a few spicy plays and stuff you can do with this deck now, and we get to play my favorite tech again now in Ryugumon, which is BT8 Chimeramon. So I'm happy. Plus we get to play my favorite Ryugumon, which is BT25 Ryugumon. I believe that was the print set it was printed in. So we get to play that again. We get to play more Airymon, because in the aggro version for EX11 we were playing only the one. Now we've bumped up to 2. So the deck's going to be done slightly differently. There is a ton of changes I've made since the aggro version, but people know what pretty much everything does in this deck now if you've watched more of my profiles. We are running the old Ryugumon from BT19. It's for a very specific reason. So yeah, what we're going to do is, in this list, we're going to go down the importance of cards and why we're playing them. I'll explain as we go, but like I say, there's a spicy pick in here, which is the BT19 Ryugumon, and we'll get into that why we're playing that specifically when we get there. But first off, for our eggs, we are back on 4 copies of Bukamon. Like I said, this is a control build, so memory is key. We're still playing a butt ton of Digimon out by effects, and then when you play Digimon by effect, you gain a memory. Unfortunately, the BT19 Ryugumon is a 4 cost, so with this, it makes it 3 cost. And it also just keeps paying back memory. Every time you play a Digimon out by an effect, once per turn you gain a memory. So it's just really nice to have that extra memory. If you're playing the control build, this is the best egg. So like I said, we're going to go down importance. And so the first card, as I've said, there are a lot of Digimon nowadays that have, well, I say a lot. One of the best decks in the format is Glowing Dawn, which does have the Atratusmon that is unaffected by Digimon effects. So we have upped the count of EX11 Yao to 4 copies. So when I was looking at the current meta, as I've said, one of the best decks is Atratusmon, and you kind of need to swing at security to win. So this stops that. So start your main phase by placing 1 card from your hand under one of your Digimon. You gain a memory, which is great. Again, we're gaining memory. Then all turns, when a Digimon is played or Digivolved, if that Digimon has the Aqua or Sea Animal trait, you can suspend this card to draw 1. But the key part is, if played by D.G.O, you get to basically suspend this, draw a card, target one of your opponent's Digimon, and stop it from suspending. Why is that important? Because even if your opponent's Digimon are unaffected by Digimon effects, this is a tamer. So you can suspend this, give one of your opponent's Digimon and can't suspend, and yeah, you're just chilling. This specifically works extremely good against Ryugumon, because if you have lingering Digimon effects where your opponent's Digimon can't suspend, every time Ryugumon gets linked or unsuspends, he's then unaffected again. Whereas this, like I said, is the tamer effect. So yeah, even if they link, they still can't suspend or anything like that. It stops Digimon from getting around. So mainly against the Atratusmon, they can't suspend to then regain their protection. So you can then use your Ryugumons and other cards to then be able to basically stop it from suspending constantly and just basically get rid of it with other abilities. As I said, we're on 2 copies of BT19 Ryugumon. Thank you to my friend Jordan for this beautiful debuggers set art. It's absolutely incredible. It's stunning. So why is this in here specifically? So when digivolving, it has D.G.O for starters, which is good because of this. So when digivolving, you get to play at a level 4 from this Digimon sources. Why is that important? Well, the next few cards that we show you is why. And then end of turn, by bottom decking one of your Digimon, you get to bottom deck one of your opponent's Digimon with a level that's equal to or less. So again, why is that important? We get to basically trigger this at the end of every single turn to put Digimon back to the bottom of our deck, to bot deck something else, decode out something which then triggers this, which then draws us a card, so we're not technically losing anything, we're just increasing hand size and stopping one of our opponent's Digimon from suspending. If you have multiple on board, you're stopping multiple things from suspending. You can even bottom deck this. So this build isn't a specific 1-stack build. You play out the level 4, you want to try and avoid putting more stuff under this. You can put Ryugumon and such under this. Swing and Ryugumon will play stuff out and everything, but this is mainly here to end of turn, bot deck something, play something out with decode, stop your opponent's stuff from suspending. So what are we playing out with this Ryugumon? We have these 3 Shellmon. We've dropped it to 3 because we've upped the count of one other specific card in the deck. So on play, when digivolving, you can tuck a card from your hand under this or under, well, basically under any Digimon. Specifically, you want to be tucking it under this because this has decode level 3. So this digivolves, play this out, you gain the memory off of this, so it's free. This will tuck something under, specifically a level 3 because this only decodes at a level 3. End of turn, this will trigger bottom decking this, decoding out your level 3. This will trigger drawing your card and stopping one of your opponent's Digimon from suspending. So yeah, that's the kind of play you're going for with this deck. And if you don't want to play that out, you can play out one of 2 copies of Calamarimon. Calamarimon has decode for Lanamon. So if you want to play out one of the 2 copies of Lanamon and then digivolve over it with this, go for it. So Calamarimon has blocker inheritable innately anyway. She has the jamming, same as this, as the inheritable, so you're never missing out on jamming. A couple of other cards we have in here also has jamming. But what makes her so strong is she's 7k, so she gets around Ryugumon, which is nice. But on play, when digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So she, in herself, already clears a level 4 or lower off the board. And then if played by an effect, so if played out by Ryugumon, you can stop one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers from suspending. So she's Tamer suspension also. So if you're against something, say, again, like Glowing Dawn, that needs their Tomoro to suspend to get 2 sources, you go, okay, I'll play this out with the Ryugumon, I'll bottom deck your level 4 or level 3, and then stop your Tomoro from suspending. So now when a Digimon suspends, you don't get 2 sources. And then, like I say, she has decode. So if you spit out one of these Calamarimons, you can, on play when digivolving, search the top 3 to add an Aqua or Sea Animal to your hand or tuck it under one of your other Digimon. She can also digivolve over this for 0, but this is the mainly way you want to be doing it. So you goes over this for 1. So if they trigger this, or you can trigger it with this, you can play out this. This will trigger, so you get a draw 1, a stun, and a search again, and then she will only bot deck something because she's not played by an effect, so you won't get the stun. But yeah, the ability of this also is you can return a level 3 to the hand, so she's also clearing, say, floodgates or something like that. So that's that. That's those 2. You can play out one of these, one of each 2 copies of these. On play, you draw a card. If played by an effect or from Digivolution cards, sorry. So with this, you gain a memory also. So if you play this out with the Ryugumon, you're getting one of this, you're getting one of this. That's a 2-cost Evo. So that's that. We'll go back into like the main sort of deck now. So we've got 2 copies of Ryugumon. She's your finisher. She can help you trigger more D.G.Os with this. She can swing twice. So she's, like I say, your aggro of the deck. So you're more of a control build. So what you want to be doing is slowing your opponent down to your pace if you can. I know this is a very fast format. This is basically with Glowing Dawn and such a turn 2 format. But if you're lucky enough, not even if you're lucky enough, you know, if you're quick enough, you can build up a stack to stun your opponent down, and then she's there to basically end the game. She can tuck something to basically bottom deck any Digimon you want. So if your opponent's got a level 6 and you can't quite deal with it, she deals with it. She also plays out a 3, a 4, and a 5 when she digivolves. So 3 copies of my favorite Ryugumon, BT25. On play, when digivolving, you can tuck a level 5 or lower Digimon under her to stop one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers from suspending, and then all turns, once per turn, when the card is put under her, you can bottom deck one of your opponent's level 5 or lower. So she pairs really nicely with this, because at the start of every turn you can tuck something, bottom deck something, draw a card. So, or gain a memory, sorry. So yeah, that's really nice. Plus she has decode, she also has decode. So whenever anything basically dies in this deck, you're spitting something else out. Onto level 5s. We're still running the 4 copies of this Marine Bullmon. This Marine Bullmon will just always be played at 4. The EX12, I believe it is, Marine Bullmon, is incredible. I am currently working on a build that works with that. If you don't know what it does, it has decode on the inheritable also. So the plays you can do with that is insane. But I'm not going to go over this too much, because if you've watched any of my other lists, you know what this does, and this is the best level 5 in the deck. We are running 1 copy of this. I still hate this card. I really still don't like this card. The only reason it's in here is because it's another level 5 target with decode. Has the same inheritable, which is nice. But the reason why we're playing 5 level 5s now with decode is if we spit this out, or we spit this out, we can then evo over with one of these and then bottom deck it with this, so we can get that out again. Like I say, with this, if we play it out with this, we will get a bottom deck and a stun. And then if we spit it out again with this, we'll then get another bottom deck and another stun. So yeah, that's the main reason with these. And also this will spit this out and get another thing. We're playing 2 copies of Mega Seedramon X Antibody. Why are we playing this? On play, when digivolving, you can bottom deck a level 4. And then its inheritable is the attack can't be redirected. So you could play the Huankun, which I was playing in one of my previous builds, which does the same inheritable but has blocker innately and stops one of your Digimon from being deleted in battle until the end of your opponent's turn. But this just fits with the deck a bit more because it's on play, you get to bounce something. So, and then, like I say, we are on 1 copy of BT8 Chimeramon. You're spitting out a bunch of level 4s, so you can then tuck in. So if you have this or any other level 4s, you can jog rest into this, tuck one of these. If you have something, you can swing. You can potentially play this out or this out or this out to then get more search, stun, draw, gain memory. If you have this on the board, you can spit one of these guys out. Again, evo into this, then decode it out to get more stun and such. So it's just nice, and like I say, it's my favorite tech in this type of Ryugumon list. The last level 4s, we are still just playing 2 of the Shellmon. It's the Yao player, so I'm not going to go too in depth with that. We have changed around the level 3 lineup very, very slightly. So just drop the card. We are still on the 4 Searcher Sango, the 3 Digivolution Reduction Sango, but we are only now playing 2 of this Sango, because we have upped the count of this Sango. So I'm not a huge fan of this Sango, but in this particular build, this card is kind of dumb, because if you have it tucked under this and then you bottom deck this with this, you can then decode out this. This then triggers this because it's being played out of decode, so you can stun something and draw a card. This will then trigger on play. You can tuck it under, so this Ryugumon to then give this blocker and can't do it in battle. So that's something else. So if your opponent does have a Digimon that you haven't stunned and they can swing, you can just block if they do attempt to attack. Yeah, this can be tucked under anything as well, so it just gives you a blocker that can't be doing in battle. We're still on 2 of this Yao. This is still my favourite Yao, but in this current, this one's just better. 2 mental training. It's mental training. We are now on 2 image training. Thank you to my friend Carlos for getting me these 2. So these are just better versions of this, really. If you don't have an image training on board, you can little colour requirements. On play, search top 2, add it blue or purple. We are only playing blue. And then same training, trash it to reduce the cost by 2. But then its security ability is its main ability. Basically, you can search the top 2, add a blue or purple. But again, we're only playing blue. And then it plays itself in the battle area. So 2 of those. And then the last 2 is still 1 emblem and 1 scramble. So that's the list. Like I say, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this. I never thought I'd be playing this Ryugumon again because we have this and the EX11 Ryugumon, but this just fits nicely with what I want to be doing with this deck. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the Digital Gate closing.